Before I introduce you to my first guest, I'd like to share something with you. It was a chance encounter of two strangers in a mall that planted the seed for the magic of this moment. He performed a charitable act in my life over 8 years ago, and I don't think either he or I ever imagined it was the beginning of 1 million people doing the same thing. Please welcome Jim Hebets, my friend and mentor. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Vivian.
Where do we begin? 8 years ago, two strangers sitting in a mall. We made a connection. It was strange. Don't you think it was strange?
For me especially, because I'm basically a fairly shy person, and so for me to even engage in a conversation would be unusual.
Well,
but there was nobody there.
Wait, I gotta
Except
tell you,
you
you
and
didn't talk to me for an hour.
So we squeezed the rest in a half an hour. That was great.
What happened for you? I've thought about this many, many times in terms of what you did for me, which was to send me to college. And I've thought about that. But what happened in your life that caused you to do that?
You know, I'm not sure I can tell you that I had a plan ahead of time or a purpose ahead of time, because I clearly did not. For me, it was that opportunity that happens once in a lifetime, where when some people would describe it as a chance encounter, and as I've shared with you before, my wife believes there's no such thing as chance encounters. I believe God ordained that you and I would meet each other that day, and that he would create a setting in which all the other people that should have been there and present simply weren't there that day. For no explainable reason, the place was empty. And that created an environment where we could talk and get to know each other. And you're one of those rare people that you get to know somebody at a soul-to-soul level awfully quickly.
How do you make a decision to send a stranger to college? Not to mention just to college. I mean, I wanted to do it as fast as I could. I picked probably one of the most expensive schools, and it wasn't because of the expense, because I wanted to do it faster. How do you make a decision to do that? What was happening inside of you?
I think there's a certain frustration sometimes when you give money to charitable purposes or charitable causes, and the frustration that comes up occasionally, at least for me, is not being altogether certain who would really ultimately benefit from the gift or the sacrifice. And in this circumstance, what I saw was a human being who I believed God had ordained for greatness, who was looking for an opportunity to grow in her life and improve herself, lift up her skills and her knowledge and her expertise. And you felt, I think at that time, like the only real missing link was the completion of the formality of your college education, for you to have the rest of that inner confidence. And what I saw from that was that if that was really true, then you were prepared to become all that God had created you to be. You were ready to begin making a difference if you could get that behind you.
So that's a perfect example of, you know, often people talk about a handout versus a hand up. That's what you did for me. It was a hand up. It was a place to empower me in a time. Now, what's interesting about this is I wasn't a single parent with children. I wasn't homeless. I wasn't unemployed. I was a woman who had lost her best friend, my mom, who had died. And so I was devastated and paralyzed. I was challenged to live the greatness within inside of me. So what happened when he came along, he said, if we send you back to college, will you go? Well, I was like, I don't know. Because I didn't know that I really was up for it at that time. So I ultimately said I would. And it gave me my life back. I mean, it gave me a place to begin to rebuild my life without my mother. So what Jim didn't know was his charitable act gave me my life back. It gave me the will to go on and pursue what I was destined to pursue.
You know, Vivian, the real truth, I watched you in those moments as you were trying to decide, was this your calling, your destiny to go back to school and finish? You were working full-time, 40 to 50 hours a week in your job. You decided the only way you'd tackle it is if you could hurry up and finish it. You completed 3 years of college in a year and a half. I'm not sure you ever made anything other than an A the entire time. And you just killed yourself to complete it and to prove that you were going to take those gifts, those blessings, and you were going to use them for God's glory in your life, for touching other lives.
But I had to. You told me I had to get A's and B's.
That's true. It was a condition. That is true.
But what's so great about this is, Jim, you saw a need that I didn't even know I had, and I think that's what's so awesome. And what did you say to me? What did you want in return?
I wanted you to change mankind, the face of mankind for all time.
You wanted me to make a difference, and I hope that you can see that this is just the beginning of what we can do together.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much, sweetie. I love you.
I love you.